Welcome to the Virtual Tutor Series on Core Mathematics for Senior High Schools. This is part 6 of the series of lessons on linear equations in one variable. We have already covered in our previous lessons a general overview of linear equations in one variable, the types of equations in which the variable is on one side and both sides of the equal sign, and the types of equations containing brackets and fractions. In this lesson, we take a look at word problems involving linear equations in one variable. This happens to be the last subtopic on linear equations in one variable, and the main purpose is to apply the various equation types that we have learned previously to solve day-to-day real-life problems. And so, if you are new to this topic, I highly recommend that you first watch our previous lessons to acquire the basics before watching this video. Now you may want to take your book and pen and follow along as we zoom into today's lesson, word problems involving linear equations. For instance, let's consider the problem. 5 times a number is 4 more than the number. Find the number. A problem of this nature, and in fact, all other word problems involving linear equations in general, can be solved by first choosing a letter to represent one unknown quantity, expressing each unknown quantity in terms of this chosen letter, in case more than one unknown quantities are involved, finding two equal mathematical expressions and forming an equation out of those expressions, solving the equation formed, and finally, using the solution to answer the given question. Following these steps, let's see how we can convert this word problem into a simple mathematical equation and solve it. It says 5 times a number is 4 more than the number. So the number is the unknown quantity in this case. And the first step is to choose a letter to represent this unknown quantity, which is the number. In our case, let's use X to represent the number. The second step is to express each unknown quantity in terms of this letter. However, in this particular case, the unknown quantity is only one, which is the number. So we will skip this step. The next step is to find two equal mathematical expressions and form an equation. Looking at the statement, two main expressions come to the fore. The first expression is 5 times a number, and the second expression is 4 more than the number. Given that the number is x, 5 times the number implies 5 times x, which is 5x. And 4 more than the number implies 4 plus x. We have extensively covered how to form mathematical expressions in our previous lessons on algebraic expressions. Kindly have a look at it if need be. We now have two mathematical expressions, and these two expressions, according to the statement, are the same. Therefore, we can simply combine them with the equal sign. So we write 5x is equal to x plus 4. The next step is to solve the equation using the steps that we have already covered in our earlier lessons on how to find the solution of linear equations in one variable. And you may want to revisit those steps if need be. To solve the equation, let's first group like terms by subtracting x from both sides. This gives 5x minus x is equal to 4. 5x minus x is 4x, and this is equal to 4. Dividing both sides by 4, we have x to be equal to 1. Now that we have found the unknown quantity, the next step is to use this solution to answer the given question. And the question in this case is find the number. Therefore, the number is 1. And we can verify this by substituting 1 into the original expressions. So we have 5 times 1 to be 5, and 1 plus 4 also to be 5. Therefore, 5 times the number is 4 more than the number. Let's consider few examples. Example number 1. When a certain number is subtracted from 10 and the result is multiplied by 2, the final result is 4. Find the number. Solution. The first step is to choose a letter to represent this unknown quantity. In this case, the unknown quantity is the number. So let's use x to represent this number. The second step is to express each unknown quantity in terms of this letter. But then, in this particular example, there is only one unknown quantity, which is the number. Therefore, we will skip this step. The next step is to find two equal expressions and form an equation. Given that the number is x, a certain number subtracted from 10 means x subtracted from 10. And x subtracted from 10 can be expressed mathematically as 10 minus x. Ten and x are unlike terms. Therefore, the result of 10 minus x is still 10 minus x. And so, the result multiplied by 2 can be expressed mathematically as 2 times 10 minus x. Now, we are told that the final result is 4. That is, the expression 2 times 10 minus x is 4. Therefore, we equate 2 times 10 minus x to 4. Now that we have successfully turned this word problem into a very handy mathematical equation, the next step is to go ahead and solve the equation. This is an equation containing brackets, so the best thing to do is to first remove the brackets by distributing 2 over 10 and negative x. Two times 10 is 20, and 2 times negative x is negative 2x, which is equal to 4. Now, let's group like terms by moving negative 2x to the right-hand side and bringing 4 to join 20 on the left-hand side. This produces 20 minus 4 is equal to 2x. Twenty minus 4 is 16. Is equal to 2x. Dividing both sides by 2, we have x to be equal to 8. The final step is to use the solution to answer the given question. And the question is, find the number. Therefore, the number is 8. Example number 2. In an examination, the sum of the marks obtained by Kofi and Amma was 81, and the difference was 17. If Kofi had a larger mark, find Amma's mark. And here is the solution. The first step is to choose a letter to represent an unknown quantity. There are two unknown quantities in this particular example. They are Kofi's mark and Amma's mark. And since we are to find Amma's mark, it will be good to choose a letter to represent Amma's mark. Therefore, let's assume Amma's mark was X. The next step is to express Kofi's mark in terms of Amma's mark, or X. Now, we are told that the difference between Kofi's mark and Amma's mark was 17. We are also told that Kofi had the larger mark. This implies that Kofi's mark is Amma's mark plus 17. In other words, Kofi's mark is X plus 17. Step 3 is to find two equal expressions and form an equation. We are told that the sum of their marks is 81. This implies that X plus 17 is equal to 81. Step 4 is to solve the equation that we have just formed. We do so by grouping like terms, that is, subtracting 17 from both sides. This produces x plus x on the left-hand side and 81 minus 17 on the right-hand side. X plus x is 2x, and 81 minus 17 is 64. Dividing both sides by 2, we have x to be 32. Step 5 is to use the solution to answer the given question. And the question is, find Amma's mark. Therefore, Amma's mark is 32. Here is our last example. A man gave out 24,000 Ghana cedis to his three brothers, X, Y, and Z, to be shared among them. If X takes twice as much as Y, and Y is given 1/3 of what Z takes, how much did each of them receive? For this example, I recommend you pause the video and give it a try. And once you are done, come back and let's solve it together. Welcome back. I'm sure you did try your hands on it. Awesome. Let's solve it together using the steps. First of all, we are to choose a letter to represent an unknown quantity. There are 3 unknown quantities in this particular case. And the unknown quantities are the amount received each by X, Y, and Z. Let's use small z to represent Z's share. We can now express X and Y's share in terms of small z. The information we have here is that Y was given 1/3 of what Z took. And if Z's share is small z, then Y's share will be 1/3 of Z. We are also told that X took twice as much as Y. So if Y's share is 1/3 of Z, then X share will be 2 times 1/3 of Z, which is 2/3 of Z. The next step is to find 2 equal mathematical expressions and form an equation. We are aware that the total amount of money given out was 24,000 Ghana cedis. This implies that the sum of X, Y, and Z share should amount to 24,000 Ghana cedis. That is, Z plus 1/3 of Z plus 2/3 of Z is equal to 24,000 Ghana cedis. We now have an equation involving fraction, and we can solve it by first multiplying through by the LCM of the denominators, or 3. So we have 3 times Z plus 3 times 1/3 of Z plus 3 times 2/3 of Z is equal to 3 times 24,000. 3 times Z is 3Z. 3 into 3 is 1, and 1 times Z is Z. Again, 3 into 3 is 1, and 1 times 2Z is 2Z, is equal to 3 times 24,000. 3Z plus Z plus 2Z is 6Z, is equal to 3 times 24,000. Let's solve for Z by dividing both sides by 6. So we have Z is equal to 3 times 24,000 all over 6. This produces 12,000. Now that we have solved the equation, let's use the solution to answer the given question. And the question is, how much did each receive? We already know Z's share to be 12,000 Ghana cedis. Therefore, Y's share is 1/3 of 12,000 Ghana cedis, which is 4,000 Ghana cedis. And X share is 2/3 of 12,000 Ghana cedis, which is 8,000 Ghana cedis. Well done. This brings us to the end of today's lesson and the end of the topic linear equations in one variable. In our next lessons, we will solve ample past SSSCE and WASSCE questions on linear equations in one variable to expose you to the various question types and how best you can approach them in any examination. If you like this video, kindly give it a thumbs up, share, and leave your comments in the comment section below. You may also consider subscribing to the TVTL's YouTube channel in order to receive notification on educational videos like this. Thank you for watching and see you in our next video lessons.